Disclosure. All right, it's good to know. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none. Item 3 is the adoption of the previous minutes. You have them before you. Any errors or omissions?
Nope.
Seeing none. Motion by Kimberly, second by Linda. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Item number 4 is a business arising from our previous minutes. Our first item is an update on the Stratford's Farmers Market event that we had last Saturday. And I'll just start off. I thought all in all, it went very well. All things considered, it was very different from what we've done in the past. But I think it was good for what we were able to do in these times. Being able to offer flowers of hope is a great way to get our community thinking about what we can do. I just thought all in all, it went very well. And I think special thanks to everybody who was able to help out on Saturday. And I'll use the word honorary member Bernie. He's a ray of hope himself. And it was great to have him there, and for his donations of the canna lilies and sunflowers. So I'll open it up for everybody else to comment and talk about what your thoughts were. Anybody?
Yeah, I thought it was a great day. I thought it was a great way for us to get a lot of exposure from people we wouldn't have normally got exposure to. Yeah, it was just amazing. Just, yeah, because there was a lot of people who didn't know anything about us too, which was good to educate. I suggest we do it that way again next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I agree with Kimberly on that one. I did find there was more opportunity to network with people that were passing. And even though we did that well, the location we were, I think that it was a lot more exposure to everyone there. And I thought it was good. Like the wind could have gone away. It was really, really windy. And it was funny when we had to chase all the donations around the parking lot. But it was good. It looked nice too. Barb, your little tablecloth with the butterflies was dead on great. It was very visible. The flags, when we had them up, they were great too. So yeah, I think we could do a repeat next year.
Simpler sometimes is better, and that was a lot simpler than we normally do.
Yeah,
and it was fine.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And about Bernie, as far as being an honorary member of our Communities in Bloom, I was thinking we have some new members here, and we should be getting them some of the magnetic name tags if we could. Does anyone know where to get them? I know Dave Gaffney always used to be the one to order them and get them.
I took care of some at one point. I went to Corner Shop to do it. I don't mind doing that again if I have the correct spelling.
Cindy has one.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah. So Lynn would need one, and George would need one. And if we could get an honorary one for Bernie, I think that would be, I don't know, just cheer him up to be part.
Well, considering how much he's done just in the last week, I think it's the least that we could do is give him an honorary CIB. Yeah.
He saved us a lot of money. I mean, we had almost 100 canna lilies between the market and the garden we just planted. And as far as sunflowers go, if we had to pay for those, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. So, and he's so happy to do it. And it was so good for him after being in the pandemic to be out seeing people he hasn't seen for over a year.
And he knows everybody, like the guy.
He does.
Says hello to everybody.
He does.
Yeah, he's good. So do we need a motion for the name badges? Because I would have to spend some money at the corner shop. Not a lot.
No,
Yeah, if you just want to pick a small amount, Karis, and then you can just go ahead.
I'd say $50 would cover it more than enough.
It is, yeah. Okay, so that's motion by Kara to spend up to $50, second by Kimberly. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you.
This Bernie, do you think he'd be interested in joining Community in Bloom?
He is 85 years old. He
Okay.
doesn't use a computer. I think if we get back to meeting in person, he would love it. But right now, without, being on Zoom, I don't think he could. But he's more than happy to help us, and yeah, he'll do anything for his community.
I believe this is a position we're going to be short in, and with Paul resigning,
We'll talk about that under new business, Bonnie. Okay. Okay, so that was the farmers market. Item B is a CIB website. Kimberly, here, I'll let you just jump in real quick.
Okay, so Casey, can you bring up what we currently have just to
You betcha.
kind of bring everybody up to speed? Okay, so right now, all of the committees of council have a web page and they all look fairly similar. So they list out the terms of reference and the purpose of the committee, and then also a point to be able to put on your application for the committee. What we have right now is it does get into a link through to Communities in Bloom. It also has information about what our achievements and awards have been in the past, and then any media releases. And as you can see from the media releases, they're quite old. And then it also gets into any local projects that we've done, including like the former home hardware and all that kind of stuff as well. So Casey, can you go down just a little bit more on the sheet there? So, and then it also talks about, what our community participation projects are. So when I talked with Brad, and then I also talked with Mike Bites, is that we have the ability to put on a photo gallery in order to showcase what we have done in the past. And this would be something that would be a little bit more static. And so that's one thing. So that if we could, my thought was that if we had pictures of all of the different projects that we have been working on of recent, so, something from Communities in Bloom, the competition in 2019, because I know there was a big photo there that we did. And then, with the trees that we recently planted along the rails line, something with Ted's garden, something with our little community garden that we just did this past week, and stuff with our promotion of CIB, or the Scott's Garden Awards, or those little plaques that we've handed out in the past. If we can get pictures of those things, and the same with the Tulip Garden, if we can get pictures of those things, then we can put those on the photo gallery, and then on, maybe once every 6 months, we could update them just to kind of keep things kind of fresh. Then in regards to the information that's actually on the page, my thought is that we could have a link in regards to Ted's garden, because I know Barb had mentioned that there's a separate website for that. And then we could kind of explain about why we created that and why it's a showcase for us. And then also get into maybe promoting a couple of the big awards that we've done, and we would put that right on the landing page here, just to say that we won, in 2011, that great big award that we won through Communities in Bloom, and then from there, we could just list all of the other projects that we're working on, because it has to be static. It can't be like a social media page. That's the unfortunate part, because my original vision was that we could put pictures on it, and then we would be able to say, oh, and this is this project, and this is that project, and kind of make it more visual in comparison to just words. But Mike says that the city doesn't want to do that. They just want to keep them fairly simple. So that was kind of what my thoughts were. And then obviously the other thing would be attaching, like in regards to the actual competition, attaching our submission and have that as a link so that people could read it if they wanted to read more. So that was just my kind of some of my thoughts, but I just wanted to see what you guys thought, and then what direction we needed to go in so that I can ask Mike to do that. And then we'd have to look for, I'd have to reach out to Fred, I think, to get some pictures of some of this stuff, because I know he's been there to take pictures of things for us. like even with the forest that we did with CIB, right, for the sesquicentennial, we could post that because that's also part of our community improvement piece too. So anyways, that's just my thoughts.
That's great. We need, it
sounds
really
good.
needs to be updated. It's very, very old.
Mhm.
The pollinator pathway is not there. Ted's garden is not there. I think those are major projects we've done and quite a long time ago. So, yeah, so I think it's good to, like the website for Ted's garden is updated up to the magnolia trees being planted. So it kind of tells you the whole history of that. So I'll get you the link for that.
Yes, please.
And the pollinator pathway, I've got the notes so we can maybe list the kinds of trees that we have put there.
Okay.
It'd be nice just to have it recorded somewhere for, you know, for historical purposes, I guess.
Yep, no, absolutely. Now, who has pictures that we could put into the photo gallery? Like, should I just ask Fred for pictures?
I should have quite a few of anything with CIB.
Okay.
I've got
Pick
some
out
of the
your-
forest and
Okay, so if you want to pick out your favorites,
Yeah.
then, and if anybody else has any other favorites, you know, Mike didn't say that we had to make it super short. Like, I mean, we could have 25 pictures if we wanted to.
Mhm.
Tell me who to send it to. I can send this to somebody.
Yeah, if, just, send it to Casey, because you've
Okay.
got her, or you can send it to me and then I can send it off to Mike, because I think we can do that. He may do that through our social media piece, but he may also, we might be able to use that picture for the magnolia trees or something. But don't forget, it has to be static. So I'm trying to think that if we just do things that are more generic, that then when we update it, you know, once every 6 months or once a year, when we put new pictures in, then that would just kind of, it's not going to have like anything that would date us per se. That's what I
That
was
photo has already been added to the Ted Blow's garden
Oh, okay.
website.
Then we
It's
don't need
already
to worry about
updated.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we don't
Oh,
need to
not
worry
this
about
one. Not this one.
That one's already been added. I haven't added one about the newspaper one with Cindy, but that's another garden. So there was one
You don't want
yesterday
this.
with Cindy in it.
You don't want this one then.
Yes.
It's already been added to the website. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. So, and is there anything else that you believe that we should put on like on our landing page per se?
I think a copy of the stone that was in the garden that we planted the other day, I think it lists all of our achievements on there, if I'm not mistaken, and the years. So that might be nice, even just a picture, and it would all be,
Okay.
Yeah.
Picture of plaque. Okay. And I think we have the picture of where we're all standing around it with the judges from 2019. Does somebody have that?
I have that. Yeah. I
Got
can
that?
send that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if you can send me that, then I think we would be okay with posting that, because that was also in the newspaper too, right? Because
Mhm.
there's something about sign off that everybody has to sign off to have their pictures posted
Oh.
on the city site. So Casey may have to send us the sign off piece. And Casey, do you know if you can do that electronically through PDF? Or does it have to be an actual signature?
I can talk with Mike. Sometimes he just needs it in writing. He just, like, if you respond with an email and give him permission to post a picture, sometimes that's sufficient, but we can just check with him.
Okay, that's cool. And then if that's the case, we can just send that out and just do a copy all email, and it would go to Mike as well, kind of thing. So. Brad, is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, you pretty much covered it off. Thanks, Kimberly, on that.
Okay. Cindy?
No, it sounds really good. I don't have any pictures, so
No.
yeah.
And Bonnie, what about with you? Anything else you want added?
I'll take a look through my memory stick and see what I've got.
I'll send some through as well. I'm just looking at my thing right now. And who do you want me to send them to? Casey or?
Can you send them to
Kimberly.
me and then I'll send them to Mike? We'll pull them all together, and then maybe we can
Okay.
put together a mini photo gallery with him, and then we can just then look at it at the next, if we need to change anything.
Okay.
Post it right to the site, but that's as explicit as we can get. So
And just tell me your email just quickly so I can just see
Oh,
it?
it's Kimberly Richardson 54 at
Yeah.
Gmail. The
Yeah.
one that's on
Thank you.
our meeting invite. Yep, thanks. Okay, that's great. So yeah, if you can, as soon, when you can, if you can send those through, and then we can get that updated for July, but I don't know if we're meeting in July. Are we meeting in July?
July 8th.
Yep, okay, yep, okay.
Okay, thanks, Kimberly. Item C is the 2021 Miracle Grow Garden Selection Program. Barb, you're up.
Okay, we've received 12 signs, 11 gift certificates, which they're handing out as prizes instead of the actual products that they had before, which is great because they store in my garage a lot easier. So Karis and I were talking yesterday, we're going to probably in July announce to the city that we are going to have this contest, and it will be open to nominations, and then we will select 12. Actually, one of those is going to Cindy's group. They're having their own little sunflower contest. So one of those signs will go to the winner of their group. Yeah, and then we just have to take pictures and we have to post them back to Scott's. That's part of our deal. And I think we have to do that by the beginning of August. So we might have to do our judging before the end of July. We'll talk about it at the next meeting. We should, get it into the newspaper and let people start nominating.
Great.
I mentioned it at my RWTO Retired Women's Teachers meeting. And the women were just like eager to do it. So we delivered a lot of, Cheryl, the president, and myself delivered a lot of packages of sunflowers to all the retired women teachers in this area. So they're all wanting to plant hope. So I think I was surprised at how much they thought it was a great idea. So.
And Karis is going to take seeds for her group. And yesterday I stopped at the fire hall. They were out doing their gardens. So attached or gave them, we actually put the seeds right in the ground. So if anybody in the group wants packages of seeds, if you can let Cindy or I know, we'll make sure you get them so that you can just pass them out. And they need to be planted before the end of June, I would say.
I've been giving a
lot of seeds. Sorry, Brad.
I was just going to say, I had a promotional last weekend that buy a beaver tail, get free seeds. So they were flying off the shelf.
Do you need more, Brad?
I think I had Braden return just the last couple on
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday when he was down. So
Uh,
if you're looking to get rid of them, I can grab some more from you, but it was just.
I have lots of seeds in my garage.
I have lots of seeds too, and Barb and I
just didn't know,
we
but,
stamped
anyways, I'm happy.
we stamped about 500 little seed packages between the two, well, more than 500. So
Well,
quite a few seed packages.
we'll be happy to put them out on our shelf if you want us to get them out this weekend.
Okay, that's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for that update. Item D is update from CIB National. So we have our next step here. I got an email from Sonia, and she's basically, excuse me here. Is our community interested in having a Zoom consultation with the judges? I think it would be beneficial. This is something new, obviously, and having that opportunity to meet with the judges over a Zoom probably wouldn't hurt, and it would probably help us. The question they asked us is, do we have any blackout dates or specific dates that will not work? And is there a preferred time, early in the morning, afternoon, or lunchtime? So I wasn't sure if there was anybody that wanted to jump on this consultation call. I was hoping that we could maybe do it in early July. I'd like to get it sooner rather than later. And this lunchtime seems to work well for most of us. So if we were to ask if we could have an hour of their time in early July, would there be interest for committee members to jump on that call?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I-
Okay. Perfect. So what, is lunchtimes usually pretty flexible for most people? If I just said early July and just see what they can come back with in terms of dates for lunchtime meeting?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can do that too, Brad, if you need.
I told Sonia I'd get back to her right after this meeting. So if I suggest to her that our committee is open for early July lunchtime,
Yeah.
then that'd be great.
Okay.
Kimberly?
Can I just make a suggestion? What if we put the two meetings together? Like
Yeah.
if for CIB, if we did like 11:30 to 1:30, you know, like kind of do something like that.
I would be
That way it's all done at one time.
open to that if the committee is. Is there,
Yeah, that's fine.
pack
Good
your
idea.
lunch and,
Yeah.
so do you want me to ask if July 8th would work, and then we can do our committee meeting first and then the Zoom consultation one way or the other? Or maybe start with the Zoom, I guess, see
Yeah.
how long, maybe start with the Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay,
That way, if we have questions and follow up, we can address it afterwards, right?
yeah, that's actually a good idea. Okay, so I'll see if they can start us. So Casey, in terms of our July 8th meeting, then can we put it at approximately 12:30 instead of 12 o'clock? And then if because I know that the clerks want to post when the meeting would be. So if we said 12:30 instead of 12 o'clock, that's enough advance notice that they can make that adjustment?
That's totally fine. And then if I won't go on the consultation one, and maybe I'll just be on standby and you can email me or text me, and
Yeah.
then I'll fire up this meeting and everyone can join that when you're done.
That'd be the plan then.
Okay.
Great.
Do we want to have it live that other people could see our consultation with the judges or not?
I don't think that is so much necessary. Bonnie, I think this is more for us to, as a committee, what is it that the judges are looking for through this process? So yeah, I think that'd probably be okay. Next item is Gardens of Hope update in Confederation Park. As Linda had her clipping there of our photo from the trees being planted there. Confederation Park's Garden of Hope, Ted's Garden, everything's coming along very well. Barb, I'll turn it over to you. And again, thanks for everybody who's been working away at that. And I guess there's a little bit more work coming up in the next week or so for who all is going to help with that. I'll turn it over to you, Barb.
Okay, well, due to the lockdown, we haven't been able to have, number one, the workshop for the people who are going to work with the artists for the bridge. So I don't have an update as to what the plan is and when it's going to happen and what's going to actually go on the bridge. I do have the artist sketch for the wall. Now, Brad, do you have the one I sent? Are you able to put that up or not?
You sent that to me as a text, did you not, Barb?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if I can go from. What if I do this?
Hold it up, yeah. Okay, so that the sketch, it had to be made slightly less busy because of the bricks that the artist has to work on. And also the words Confederation Park, which we were hoping would go on the wall, doesn't fit. So we've got to figure another way of doing that, whether they, the letters jut out from the wall or whatever. So I have to sign the contract with her. She's only going to do the front of the wall at this point because we have had to apply for a different grant. We won't hear right away whether we get that or not. And if we do, then we'll do the other side. But right now we're only doing the one. Some sunflower seeds were planted around the magnolia trees that were planted last week. They won't, like the ones blooming now, but after this week, we won't have any yellow from the trees. So I planted some sunflower seeds and hopefully they will be yellow in about 6 weeks or 7 weeks. And we'll have a little bit of yellow over there. Some of the flowers from the garden that we planted on York Street had to come out because they're shade plants. And as you know, that garden is very in full sun. So they've been moved over to Ted's garden in the shade. And yeah, so we've got some yellow popping around for these gardens of hope. And yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Item 5 is new business, and I'll just start with the Communities in Bloom garden that was planted the other day. Thank you again to everyone who was able to come out and help with that project. And again, to our honorary member, Bernie, who I'll give a personal testimony here. My son Braden said he and Bernie had a great opportunity to connect, and Bernie was generous with sharing his wealth of knowledge, I'll say.
Yeah, they
I
spent
agree.
together.
And it's
Yeah.
a great opportunity whenever we can. So it was not only were we planting the flowers and planting hope, and also Barb, I was given the update by you sharing about the sunflowers, and I'll just let you talk a little bit more about how that all came together there.
Well, it was interesting. Cindy planted seeds at the Northwestern greenhouse with her grandson, and Bernie planted the same number at his greenhouse, and we should have had 196 altogether. But because of Cindy's lovely little grandson who would put 2 in to a pot instead of 1, we ended up having 217 sunflowers. So it made sense that they could be planted in memory of the children that were lost in BC. So it just kind of fell into place. Wasn't planned, but it ended up working well. So Karis and I have made some slate signs with a friend of hers for Bernie's garden, actually. And we would like to get a sign, and it wouldn't be permanent. I don't think we'd have to go to the Parks Board, just to, number one, tell people in Stratford or the tourists that is the Garden of Hope, to tie in with the Communities in Bloom national theme this year, but also talking about the 215 sunflowers that were planted that people are going to see blooming, towards the end of the summer. So I think people going by would want to know those 2 things. So is it possible to get, I think the sign would be $65 at the most, to create a sign that will stand up in the garden telling people about those 2 items. And if we can get it cheaper, like even a corrugated cardboard or plastic, because it's not going to be a permanent sign. It would only be for the duration of this summer.
I think there's a reasonable budget there, Bart. And all I would say is get something that hopefully won't grab legs. And
Yeah.
walk away.
The slate ones are beautiful. And I don't, hopefully nobody would want them, but I could see they can maybe pick them up and smash them. So we might go with something cheaper. I know, Karis, what did you find out from Diane yesterday?
We were going to do an outside visit, but it rained last night.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I will hopefully get it to see her this weekend though.
Okay, because I'm still waiting to hear back from her about possible, not using slate, but something less permanent.
Yeah.
So can I make a motion that we spend up to $65 for a sign that would go into that garden to help tourists and residents know what the purpose of the garden is?
Yeah, you just did. Second by Cindy.
Yeah.
Any questions at all? See none, all in favor? And that's carried. Thank you.
Sorry, Brad, I just had a quick question. Do we have to run that by the Parks Board?
I don't think, only because it's really, we're not promoting anything commercial. It's not permanent. I can ask.
I think we should send it to Quinn just to double check.
Fair enough. I agree. I'll send it to Quinn.
I can talk to Quinn. I've got some other questions for him.
Just explain what it is, and that should. Okay, I'll leave with you, Barb, to reach out and just get confirmation from him as the Parks and Forestry Manager that it's okay.
I don't mind going to the parks. I I just know that last time when I went to them, they had to call a special meeting because they don't meet that often.
No.
And by the time they meet, our sign could be gone. Like, I like Mr. Ritzma's way of doing things. He kind of begs forgiveness later. Like, we weren't even supposed to be at the market on Saturday, and yet we were. And
I'm gonna say,
know-
I asked him 3 months ago, so that I'm not sure how that didn't. I don't know. I'm just gonna say, I have email.
yeah,
I have emails to prove that I asked.
no, and he had an email to you that morning too, right? Reminding you of it. Yeah.
Anyway,
So I like the way he does things. Sometimes, yeah, you're better to
But-
beg forgiveness later.
but I agree
And
with
we can
Connie.
remove this. Yeah.
Okay. Kimberly,
Just with the stuff that has been going on with the Parks Board, because the three of us are on that committee, is that all we have to do is just send them an email to Rick and say, look, this is what we're doing. And then that's it. Like there isn't any formal process. It's just most of the time it's an FYI now.
Oh,
I've noticed with some of the stuff that we do, right, that we don't formally, it's more, oh, this is what's going to happen, right?
well, could somebody do that? Just saying
I
that
will.
it's,
I'll send it to them. I'll send it to everybody today and say, we've planted this garden, which didn't cost the city anything.
right?
We just want to put up a sign to explain what the garden's for and what the sunflowers are for.
And the theme is only for this year,
Yep, it's just for
as are the
CIB.
215
Yep.
children. Yeah.
Yep, I'll do that and then I'll copy you guys on it so everybody knows.
Okay, thank you.
I'll send it to the
there
committee.
we go.
And then
Well-
Quinn will get that too, so I won't even talk to him about it.
Yep.
We're all above
Yeah.
board on this. Okay. Cindy,
This is just on a personal note, and it's for you, Brad, and for Braden. I had never had the opportunity to meet Braden before, and I just wanted you to pass along to him how, like, it was so nice to work with a young teenager who was so polite, so conscientious, and so enthusiastic about what we were doing. So please tell him from me how impressed I was with him.
thank you.
And I also really,
Yeah,
I
I
also
second
really
that.
liked watching Bernie and Braden work together, like this intergenerational, and they really bonded.
Mhm.
And it was just such a pleasurable afternoon for me and Braden went and got pop, and yet, he just helped carry all my stuff to my car. I just think you've done a wonderful job.
Mhm.
Thank you. As a parent, that's one of the nicest things you can hear. Right? So,
Mhm.
thank
He
you for that.
definitely takes after his mum. Great job.
God bless her. She's such a good influence on their kids. For sure. Okay, thank you for that. Anyways, is there any other new business? Seeing none. Our next meeting is July the 8th, and as I said, I'll reach out to CIB to make that request for the 11:30, and then we will carry on with a 12:30 start time for our regular scheduled meeting. If there's any other questions, that's what we'll do. If there's nothing further, motion to adjourn. Motion by Kimberly, second by Bonnie, all in favor, and that is carried. Well, thank you, everybody.